Well, good morning and welcome back to the Shallow Proclamation. My name is Thomas and I'm joined by.
Paul.
I don't know if it is morning. It's not morning when we're recording this, but you might be watching it in the morning.
Indeed, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
I'm just turning this into a breakfast show. I don't know. Yeah, welcome back to the Shallow Proclamation. We're watching the newest episode of Doctor Who, Lux. Episode 2 of season 2. We watched obviously the first episode, Robot Revolution, with Sam last week, which we kind of enjoyed, didn't we? We didn't hate it.
No, I think that's fair. I give it a sort of 6 out of 10. It was fine. It was a decent start, not terrible, not brilliant.
Yeah. And for me, if the whole season continued at that level, I'd be disappointed.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like Space Babies where I thought, oh, crumbs, this season's going to be terrible.
Yeah.
And then it got a bit better after that.
I I did say last week that I really liked the visuals, so I thought it looked great.
Yeah.
But there was one thing bothering me about it that I couldn't put my finger on until I saw someone else's video about it. And what they described the look of it, or at least the robots and some of the, I guess, like the spaceships and things. The word they used was toyetic. So they were like toys. And I realised that was the perfect encapsulation of the thing in my head that I couldn't quite get. Is that bothered me slightly? Is that it looked like it was just toys.
Giant toy. And do you think that was a deliberate choice? Or
Well, I think it must have been, but I mean, that's the one part of it when I think about it. Actually, I'm not a fan of. I don't want it to look like it's just because that makes it feel like a bit of a
bit cheap.
bit cheap, a little bit too kiddie, and I want it to be
Yeah.
have a bit more to it than that. So that's the one thing visually that now I've had that, now I've seen it said in that way, I realise that's the thing that was bothering me slightly. I didn't like as much.
Come to mention it, its aesthetic was very similar to Spy Kids.
Right. Yeah, and that's not an aesthetic you particularly think I'd love to chase after.
You see what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, okay, gosh, yeah.
the thumbs. But those movies, whatever people say about them, they were very much made for kids, and they were like, I kind of love it. They were like, let's make a film that kids will love and just run at it 100%, which worked for Spy Kids. Doctor Who, I think I've always appreciated when it's had some layers, which the previous episode did, but maybe that aesthetic undermined it slightly. I don't know.
Sure. And I mean, I don't think it didn't completely demolish the episode for me. It's just the one that's the thing that bothered me about it, though, that I kind of thought, nah, I don't want it to look like that.
Okay.
But I don't know anything about this episode. All I know, really, we were just saying before we came on the recording, neither of us have seen it. And I've avoided spoilers because we're watching this on Thursday, came out on Saturday, so we've done quite well to avoid stuff. All I know is stuff from the trailer. I think this is the story where you've got the character coming out of the cinema screen, perhaps. And I know that I think this is the one with Alan Cummings as the voice of this thing.
Okay.
Alan Cumming, he was in one of the previous seasons, wasn't he? I think he was in the Witchfinder General? Did he play like King James or something like that? Like one of the...
That rings a bell.
He played one of the... He was a role in one of the Whittaker era episodes, but in my head, Alan Cummings for me is always Boris from GoldenEye.
Nice.
Or Nightcrawler in X-Men 2, but...
Yeah. Oh, of course. Yeah.
So, yeah.
So quite a seasoned actor.
Yeah, absolutely. Done a lot of different things. I also have quite a strong memory of a story he once told on Graham Norton, but I won't share that here.
Fair. Well,
do you know anything going in?
I don't actually, other than my friend WhatsApped me to say, have you seen Lux? And I said no.
Yeah, my friend also, Sam from last week, also messaged and said, have you and Thomas seen Lux yet? And I said, No.
So, yeah, I'm kind of intrigued. I'm intrigued by this image as well. It looks like here we have an animated Doctor and companion, Belinda.
My dad did message me on Saturday because they're a bit old fashioned. They'll have watched it on the telly at the time it went out, and he just said that was very involving. Another good storyline.
Oh, okay. And your dad's like not a massive Doctor Who fan, is he?
Oh no, he's quite a big Doctor Who fan.
Oh, he is.
I mean, not as big as like I mean, he probably in younger years he was a bigger fan.
Okay. What was his Doctor?
Well, he was born in 1950, so
wow.
So his first Doctor would have been Hartnell.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, as a 13-year-old lad,
Yeah. Wow, that's very cool.
There you go. So yeah, I mean, I'm coming into this feeling positive.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll get it queued up. Anything else to add before we jump in? Oh.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Got me cup of tea. Got me Cybermen and Dalek mug.
Nice.
Got me notepads. Got me pen. Good to go.
Got my popcorn and my dentist treatment plan estimate. Oh, I didn't need that.
Less popcorn, less money on the dentist treatment plan.
It's salted actually, so in theory,
enough.
better for the gullet. Right. Well, for anyone watching with our full commentary track, we will begin the episode in 3, 2, 1, go. It's always exciting to have new Doctor Who, isn't it?
Yeah. Like that cinema aesthetic there.
Yeah, that's lovely, isn't it?
That old school look.
And the popcorn in the stripy boxes. This is good. It's taking its time to just establish the setting, which I felt was lacking in the previous episode.
Yeah, a lot of people commented on the pacing of the last episode being super frantic.
Yeah. Ooh, the spoon.
Me?
Don't make me laugh. Yes, you.
It's a nice concept.
Don't make me laugh.
Yeah.
There we
Proper
go.
Doctor Who title.
Yeah, that's a good start, that.
What do you call the bit before the opening credits? The
Oh, a cold open.
cold open. Yeah.
And the one place the Tardis cannot reach is May the 24th.
That's clever, because that's coming up, isn't it?
That's probably where the end of the series is, right?
Mm.
And I would really, really like to see them again. Please.
Wasn't that Amy's theme it played just then?
It is a vortex indicator.
Like the little Amy. Either Murray Gold is doing something very clever and connecting them, or he's run out of ideas.
Yeah. This is very Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
I was going to say, yeah. Combining the 2D animation with live action. It's pretty cool, isn't it?
Yeah, particularly that sort of 1950s aesthetic, some of that look. Going back to those sort of older days of America.
Don't make me laugh, because it sounds like this.
Ooh.
This is a reference back to the giggle.
Yeah, the toy maker.
What does that mean? Who is he?
The gods of chaos have harbingers.
And I am Lux. Lux Imperator, the god of light. I am the dazzle of the heart of the pantheon. I am the glint in the eyes of the mad. I am the last thing you see before you fall into the abyss. Run!
That's it. I've got you.
Oh, someone's doing it.
Ha!
Doctor, is that you?
Belinda. Belinda Chandra. Like Miss Belinda Chandra. How do you know that?
Who are you?
We're your biggest fans! Oh, this is so Galaxy Quest. I knew it. I always knew.
Huh?
Wait, one was wearing a unit t-shirt. And, yeah, the
Yeah,
meat.
one's got a Telos, like, Cybermen t-shirt on as well. And the
And is
are
that a
Cybermen.
Baker scarf?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's kind of cool. They're Doctor Who fans.
this is getting very meta.
Oh, and the creature in the poster in the background is from Dot and Bubble, isn't it, I think?
Oh, yeah.
What's your favourite adventure?
Blink.
Definitely Blink.
Blink. Every time.
Not the one with the goblins?
Blink.
I
Wow.
meant the Beatles.
Blink.
Not the one where I am standing on a land.
No one's favourite is the one with the goblins, surely.
What happens in Blink?
Space babies.
Well, you're not allowed to blink.
That's kind of charitable of Russell to say that.
Gotta say, though,
It's a Moffat story.
Gone for
Isn't
the
it?
Moffat stories there, and Boom, yeah.
Is this too meta?
film stock
But it's very out there.
It's us, Belinda. We're not real.
What do you mean?
We don't exist. But
So saying Doctor Who fans no longer exist. That's how poor the quality of the show has become.
Just as just as Davros was never in a wheelchair.
We learned from the Doctor, so we worked it out. We can set you free.
it's time for you to go back and fight him and beat him for us.
I'm sure that there is something.
No,
we
no,
can-
off you go. Come on, because you better be quick. Oh, come on. You're 30 minutes in. Time for the third act.
Sorry, I don't get it. So, what the heck?
Keep watching.
What? What don't I get?
They are not real. Once we move on, Lizzie, Assad, and Robin will all blink out of existence.
You mean you'll die?
It's not death. We just end.
That is death.
Yeah.
It's a bit like Silence in the Library, isn't it? When the children say to Donna, you know, sometimes when you're not there, it's almost like we don't exist. You know, even when you close your eyes.
best friends.
Yeah.
What's this music? This is from a previous
Yeah, I recognise
era, isn't it?
Just now and then you can think of us. Then we might live on just a little bit.
Always
Oh, this
crying.
is it's turn left, isn't it? You say, I won't die. Is it that? Maybe it's not that one. No, it's not that.
We love you so much.
No, it's End of Time, isn't it? I don't know.
Time Lords have their own medicine. By generation. It's left me with a little extra pocket of energy. I've been saving just for this.
Oh, phew. He's saying that the bi-generation left him with a pocket of energy. I thought he was implying that from now on, he will
Yeah.
bi-generate. How much regenerational energy is it draining?
Maybe this is why they're saying the series is going to be cancelled.
Yes.
Can't regenerate again.
Just this once. Everybody lives.
Yeah, I did think that.
Tommy. Tommy.
Is what number Doctor are we on now? I've lost track.
15?
This is 15. Is there a significance to him being 15 and there being 15 of them? I don't know.
Ooh, interesting. All 12 of them? No, sir. All 15.
Plus the Timeless Child ones.
Ugh. Doctor 1,141,000,041. She seems to have warmed to him quite quickly. Considering at the end of the last episode she was like, "Get me home!"
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, hello.
I can recommend this one.
Better
Limited run only. Show ends May the 24th.
How did they?
Oh gosh, that's the line.
Well, like from the movies. How did they do that?
Trick of the light.
Show ends May 24th.
Well,
That's it, Doctor Who is cancelled.
So I'd knock it down to a 7 out of
She's
10,
married to
because it gave away
Brian
the
Here we
May.
go.
And the villain's motivation changed.
And technically,
Yeah, she is.
puppets don't want to be boys. They're cartoons.
We're still here.
We've got Doctor Who DVDs on the shelf behind him and everything.
This whole world is cold, lifeless, and dead.
We have a body.
What are
Oh, interesting. Very
That
interesting.
looks, yeah, visually that next episode looks really nice.
There we go. Lux.
We're still here, Thomas.
We're still...
We're still here. We exist.
Sorry, everyone. We're still
Yeah, apologies.
Okay. I almost feel like you need a moment to process what just happened, don't you?
Well, I think what happened was that we actually just had a pretty good episode of Doctor Who.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's definitely a step up from last week,
Certainly.
and I'd say definitely a step up from last season on the whole.
Yeah. I think my overall impression was that it felt like a pretty cohesive episode. You know, it had a concept that it set up really nicely before the title. As we pointed out, it took its time to develop the cinema and it kept it quite simple. Okay, it literally just focusing on a little neighborhood around the cinema. So just those characters at the cinema, the mum of Tommy Lee, the projectionist. Pretty compact, which is what it needed, I think.
Yep.
Love the concept of animations coming to life. Obviously not necessarily the most original idea, but it was well done. It had that Who Framed Roger Rabbit sort of feel to it.
Yep.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it, actually. I think just a couple of quick, because I've heard a lot of people absolutely raving about this episode. I don't want to rain on the parade, but just a couple of quibbles just to get off my chest. Few lines annoyed me.
Okay.
Just like weird. There's just like moments where I'm just like, Russell, like what are you getting at with that line? Like when he's like these chains to the cinema, they look like something that would keep a monster in. You know, they're strong chains, and I'm like, they're normal chains. I've literally seen old cinema. I live around the corner to a cinema that's been locked up. Like,
yeah, I know the one. Yeah. Well, you know what they're keeping in there. You know what they're keeping in there, Thomas.
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. So there's just like weird things that just don't quite land. And then I'm sorry, the coming out of the TV and then it's Doctor Who fans and the Doctor Who logos on the TV. I just found it a little bit too meta, just a bit too like self-indulgent. And the fact that they say that Blink's the best episode, I think is the show kind of acknowledging that it has not since reached the glory of days when we had episodes like Blink. But I don't know. But overall, I enjoyed it. What about you?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I feel generally quite positive about it. I mean, obviously there are things, because we're sort of watching it for the first time and we're sort of talking about it a little bit as we go. Inevitably, I think on a rewatch, there might be things in there you pick up or notice and that maybe we didn't catch. Interestingly, I mean, I would rewatch that. Like last week's, I wouldn't feel particularly bothered about rewatching particularly quickly. And a lot of the previous season, I wasn't hugely bothered about rewatching. There was a couple of episodes, I think 72 Yards or whatever it was called, was worth having another look at. And I think the penultimate episode of the season.
Yes.
Was that before Empire of Death? I can't remember which one it was, if that was the last one or the one before. But the first Sutek one, with the build up to all that,
Yeah, The Legend of Ruby Sunday, I think it was called.
Yeah, maybe that was it. Yeah, I thought that was sort of worth repeating, but I enjoyed that, and I like the references back to the sort of harbinger and the toy maker kind of this thing that's sort of being a bit of a theme for this new RTD era since we had Neil Patrick Harris coming back, the toy maker coming back. Yeah, the gods and this pantheon, and obviously tying in with Maestro and all those kind of figures. So I think that's really nice. I like that. Although the idea of sort of an animation coming to life is not necessarily a news thing. You've got your Who Framed Roger Rabbit type stuff, and it's a bit sort of. I mean, they made a bit of a reference at the end there, didn't they? The fans like to puppets and becoming real boys and stuff. Obviously there's all elements of that. I don't think the show, I can't think off the top of my head if Doctor Who itself has ever done anything like
the
this
only
before.
thing going in my head when I was seeing the trailer for it and stuff was the Idiot's Lantern, which is obviously live action TV, isn't it? But the idea of TV is kind of coming to life. But yeah, I don't know if it has. Well, yeah, the classic era obviously more than I do, but
yeah, I don't think there's anything in the classic era. I don't think really in the classic era you'd even have been able to pull it off. But yeah, and like the Doctor and Belinda becoming a cartoon, and all those kind of things, and then adding depth to themselves. Just lots of nice little ideas in there. That are really enjoyable, and I thought the Mr. Ring-a-Ding himself, sort of as he takes on more depth and becomes, like more of a 3D computer animated character, I really thought that was nice.
I was expecting him to go all the way and become like a kind of human, but I can see why they didn't do that. It's to kind of keep him as this quite abstract entity.
Yeah. No, I thought as you sort of pointed out at the beginning, sort of it was paced nicely as well. It certainly didn't feel anything like last week's massive dash through 101 things. There was a really solid cold open that took its time. And even once we got through that, you had the Doctor and Belinda sort of in the TARDIS and then arriving in 1952, setting up their stuff. Oh, there's a cinema, it's chained up, going in the diner. We weren't just thrown into it, and I think that actually worked really well. It's probably one of the better paced episodes we've had for quite a while.
Yeah, because I think maybe there's part of Russell's thinking when he's sort of thinking, okay, I've got 8 episode season, I've got to just cram in as much as possible. There may be a kind of pressure to do that or a temptation to do that because you think, I've got to kind of make a mark in the short screen time. But this episode, it really benefited, I think, from not trying to do too much in terms of plot, coming thick and fast. It's like a simple idea that it takes time on the setup, doesn't it?
Yeah. And I think just thinking about sort of the Doctor and about Belinda, I think Ncuti Gatwa's Doctor is better when he's given, or basically when he's given better stories, when he's given more to do, something that has a bit more heft to it than last week or even Space Babies. Something that feels a bit more substantial. I think he seems to rise to it a bit. The thing I don't like so much about this Doctor is the sort of kind of, hey babes, all that kind of stuff. So anything that pushes the character away from that into a more serious end of it. It doesn't mean it needs to be completely serious as a figure, but I think for me that works a lot better as the character generally, more in line with previous incarnations all the way back to Hartnell. Obviously they've all been very different, but I think the Doctor's always been a decently serious figure worth taking on at least.
Totally.
So I'm interested still to see. You're saying about the fans thing. I don't really know what I make of that, to be honest. I kind of enjoyed it. I think I enjoyed it, and the kind of the BBC logo, and even having like BBC Doctor Who DVDs in the background, I could tell those sort of grey spines of the DVDs.
Yeah, and then it comes out of the TV again during the credits, and they're still there.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I think I quite like. I mean, I think I quite like it.
Yeah, I mean, the concept, it's kind of a dream, isn't it? The concept of the Doctor meeting Doctor Who fans.
Yeah,
because you always feel that. You always feel that slight sense of disconnect when you're watching a show. You get attached to a character, and you're like, I can never meet that character. I can meet the actor, maybe, but I can never meet that character. So that was kind of quite a nice concept, wasn't it, in a way?
I mean, it doesn't bother me in the slightest, but I do wonder whether some people will see that, some fans, and be like, is this Russell T Davies, you know, these people, they're basically stereotypical kind of Doctor Who fans, you know, is this how he envisions them, that they're basically slightly nerdy and there's a little element of kind of sadness there, you know, like, I don't mean boo-hoo, I mean like they seem a bit sad.
Imagine if the fans he'd chosen to depict there were like, I don't know, like, I don't know, the anti-woke crowd, like, or something. He could have done like a whole kind of tour of Doctor Who fandom.
Oh yeah, exactly. So
we weren't contacted for that episode.
No, I don't understand, Russell. What's going on? Shocking.
Can you imagine if we were the people on that sofa?
Pushing through this screen, see if I can. Yeah. No, I think I quite liked it. I mean, I'm sure, you know, now I've seen the episode, I might have a look at a little bit about what other people have said, and I'm sure I always find that sometimes, you know, I can watch an episode like this, I quite enjoy it, and then I'll see what other people have said, and sometimes there'll be criticisms that people raise, and actually I go, oh yeah, that's valid, and maybe I have no doubt that will be the case with this as well. But I think, you know, as a sort of overall kind of coming through it, I'm like, yeah, I've enjoyed it. That was a really positive experience. Quite a strong episode. Probably one of the, as I said, one of the stronger Gatwa episodes so far, even though we've not had a huge amount. And again, sort of teasing the Mrs. Flood thing.
Yeah, I like that line about how it's limited series. It's gonna
Show ends May 24th. I mean, that is going to get people talking about, because there is all this rumour about, you know, Rusty Davies saying, oh, we're already looking for his successor to take over after him, and it doesn't seem like there's anybody lined up, and has it been commissioned for a third season? That doesn't seem to have happened yet.
Yeah, do you think that ending, the end of this season, because it's like the TARDIS is bouncing off it and stuff, do you think it's going to somehow imply that the show has just...
The show no longer exists?
Yeah. Like, you'll see the Doctor Who fans and their memories will be wiped and stuff. And,
I mean,
Doctor Who dies. They actually kill Doctor Who within Doctor Who.
Yeah, I mean, I can't see... I mean, Chris Chibnall was pretty ballsy to decide to chuck out the entire established continuity of the Doctor's history. I think Rusty Davies would be... I mean, you'd have to be the most arrogant person in the world to decide that you were going to end the show and think that it would stick as well. So I don't think it happened. But yeah, there's a lot of rumours about what happened, because we were talking the other week about how all of season 2 was filmed at the same time as season 1, or very near after.
Yeah.
Which I believe was filmed at the end of 2023. Now, if season 3 hasn't actually been commissioned yet, that means they haven't filmed any new Doctor Who since, well, for over a year, maybe a year and a half.
Right.
I don't know about Christmas special, but and that people are talking about, is Ncuti Gatwa going to go? You know, maybe he's leaving at the end of this season.
Does it end with a regeneration?
And part of me wonders whether it might be, because if you've basically signed up to do this show and then you've had to sit around for a year and a half, not filming anything, and you're kind of thinking, actually, I want to be moving on to bigger and better things and using this as a springboard. But you can understand why someone might be getting cold feet, and
that'd be a weird gig to sign up to, wouldn't it? With a year gap.
Yeah, I mean, and I know people would say, well, he's not done very long, but he's not done very long in terms of what we've seen on screen. But in terms of his actual time he's been working on the show, I'm not sure exactly when they started filming for the giggle, but I mean, way back, obviously, before November 2023. He's probably been working on the show for a good few years already, even though we've barely seen anything of him. So if he does decide to move on at the end of this season, you can kind of understand it. But, I mean, that's another discussion, really. We'll see when we get there. But yeah, I think generally I'm quite positive about that as a story.
Yeah.
And some interesting bits as well. I think, with making a bit of the plot line to do with sort of segregation, just bringing in those elements there, sort of just acknowledging that these would be real things that could be a factor for them in that era, I think worked well. And it wasn't just a kind of, and I think because it kind of played into the story a little bit as well. It wasn't just I'm trying to throw it in to make a point about something.
Sure. Yeah.
So yeah, I thought that worked well. And I think I've warmed to Belinda much more quickly. We were relatively positive last week, but I like her already better than I like Ruby.
Yeah, no, I think she's settling in well. I think I might have wanted them to run with the reluctant companion thing a bit longer. I mean, she does clearly still want to go home. But the start of this episode, the moment she, puts on the 50s outfit and gets to explore the past and stuff, you can kind of understand why she's now finding it quite exciting and, trusts the Doctor, so she's less desperate to get home. But I thought that was an interesting tension, her, being very, Doctor, get me home. I think they could have pushed that further. But, yeah, no, she's a likeable companion, I think.
Yeah, we'll have to see how they continue to play that dynamic through the rest of the season, whether it's completely gone now or whether, she will still be a little bit kind of, I want to go home. I mean, I think that's going to be a running theme anyway, isn't it? I think that's going to be a running theme anyway through the season, isn't it? Because obviously she'll want to go home, but we can't get back to 2025. So there'll be an element of that. But yeah, I think just generally for whatever, I'm not sure I'd be able to pinpoint what it is, but I just feel as a character, I'm more drawn to her than I was to Ruby. Although Ruby's coming back, isn't she, in this season at some point? So we'll see how that all ties in and what that dynamic would be like as well.
Yeah. Okay. Well, and next episode looks intriguing.
Yeah, it looks positive. Obviously, it's hard to tell from a little next time trailer where you don't really see much at all, but it's got to look very nice. The setting looks great.
Yeah. I just want to quickly watch what the fans say after the end of the episode, because don't they give it a 7 out of 10 or something, which is quite interesting.
Well, I really, really loved it. Though I'd knock it down to a 7 out of 10 because it gave away the ending in the middle and the villain's motivation changed.
And technically, it's puppets that want to be boys, not cartoons.
We're still here.
So, do you think, because they saw the episode, did they see themselves in the episode? This is where it gets really mind-bending, doesn't it? No, because that bit was in their world, wasn't it? So the episode literally took a break.
So the episode's paused while the Doctor and Belinda come out.
Yeah. The problem with going that meta is that you can't go any more meta than that, can you?
No, not really.
By the time there's the Doctor saying, and incidentally, a Merry Christmas to you all watching at home as well. That's one thing, Hartnell doing that. But by the time the Doctor has stepped out of the TV and met Doctor Who fans,
it's probably the most overtly the show has ever done that. But it's not a huge spoiler, and I won't tell you when it comes up because it's just a little moment. But there is a story in the classic era where a character it's set on Earth in 1963, and a character leaves the room, and then when they leave the room on the telly, it says, "And now a new thing, so an adventure in time and space," and it goes, "Doctor," and then it cuts off. Like,
nice. That's quite. I remember
referencing that the show in the show.
That is kind of cool. I remember watching at uni. Some friends did a Doctor Who based, sort of inspired play called Doctor Whom, and
I love it already.
I think you would have enjoyed it, but there was a bit in that was obviously very kind of parody, but there was a bit in that where the Doctor met Russell T Davies and Stephen Moffat, and sort of they had a debate about who the Doctor should be. And to be honest, after what we've just seen, you can kind of imagine that happening in the show, can't you?
Yeah, yeah.
The Doctor meets RTD. He's like, you are the architect.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think there's a Jacob Dudman sketch about that. The guy does a really good Matt Smith impression.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know the guy, yeah. Yeah, maybe the big bad, the big bad of season 2 will be Russell T Davies himself in the show. Like...
Yeah. Yeah, the storyteller.
Dear me.
I'm just going to quickly find that Matt Smith impression, because it is just incredible. Yeah, 10 years ago.
Oh, that guy.
Wow.
Oh, gosh, is that long?
I have a top like that, actually. But this is uncanny, because Matt Smith I don't think of as having an especially distinctive voice. No, he does have a distinctive voice, but not... When you think of impressions, you're thinking, Alan Rickman in Harry Potter or Captain Jack Sparrow, quite out there voices.
Matt Berry.
Yeah, exactly. You don't tend to think, I'd love to, an obvious impression to try and crack would be Matt Smith as the Doctor. But this is it's just like perfect.
It all just goes, doesn't it? Everything you are gone in a moment, like breath on a mirror. Any moment now, he's a-coming.
We all change. When you think about it, we're all different people all through our lives. That's okay, that's good, you've got to keep
Big Finish?
moving.
Maybe he does, actually.
As you remember all the people that you used to be. I will not forget one line of this. Not one day, I swear. I will always remember when the Doctor was me.
It's uncanny.
It's so good, isn't it?
I still think my favourite is that guy who does the Matt Berry impressions on Instagram. But he does all if the Doctor was Matt Berry.
If the Doctor was Matt Berry, that was brilliant.
Could I deter your plans for world domination with a succulent jelly, baby? Oh, you've got to be joking me. The only other Time Lord in existence, the Master! What if Matt Berry played the...
I think he is more Matt Berry than Matt Berry himself. I think I'd be here for that. I'd be here for that season. I think if Ncuti Gatwa regenerates into Matt Berry, I'm here for that.
I am here for that too. He'd be a great Doctor.
Dear me. Anyway, I feel we've slightly
we may have slightly veered off.
It's not like us. We're normally so focused. No.
Do you reckon we can step out of this reaction into the home of people watching our YouTube videos?
That would be quite upsetting for many people, I feel.
I think it would. I think it'd be a disappointment.
That's a Patreon. People. That's a special Patreon feature.
Immersive experience.
Oh man.
Okay.
So what are that? We're 2 episodes in, six to go for this season. Yeah. Presumably, I'm presuming then that it really does end around the 24th of May.
Yeah.
If I bring up my calendar here. So what would that be?
That
3,
doesn't sound very far
4,
off.
5, 6, 7. Oh, 24. That would be episode 7 on the 24th.
Ooh.
Unless I've got that wrong. So what are we on? 2, 3 on Saturday. 4, 5, 6, 7, surely.
Yeah. So they're not releasing 2 in one go, are they, at any point?
Oh, possibly. Maybe they will do. I don't know. I'm presuming, because there's a Eurovision themed one.
Yes.
I'm presuming that's going to come out on the 17th, which is Eurovision itself.
Yeah, because didn't last year the first 2 episodes came out at a similar time to Eurovision?
Yeah, no, the last year the first 2 episodes. Well, I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly when they came out, but it was the first 2 came out together, didn't they?
Yeah.
I'm not convinced that's a great idea, to be honest.
No.
I think because I suppose either drop 1 episode a week, or you've got to drop the whole series in one go for people to binge. But that doesn't feel very Doctor Who-y, to be honest, either.
Yeah.
So, anywho.
Oh, good stuff. Well, Paul, it has been a pleasure as always.
Yeah, it's been great, mate. I'm pleased to come away from that feeling very positive about it.
Yeah, likewise. And let us know what you think in the comments, people. And we will see you soon.
Yeah, see you for next week's episode. Whatever that's called and whatever it is.
Yes.